Arise, get up, because I made you whole. And all that dwelt there, they saw this, and they turned to the Lord. Put your finger in 35, because we're coming back there. But just put your finger right there. That's miracle number 1, y'all. Here's miracle number 2, because there's 2 miracles. Peter's on a roll. The rock is rolling. Now there was a job. He goes from one place to another, because here's a bigger issue. Now we're not just dealing with the loss of motion of someone. Now we're dealing with something even far greater. And this was to a saint. It's not just to anybody. She's a saint. She's a disciple. Her name is Tabitha. It means gazelle. In Greek, it means a doe or a deer. A precious creature, a pleasant creature, graceful. And she did so many good works. She was ministering. She made clothes. She did so much. Alms deeds, charity, giving. She was sowing. Amen. We have a Dorcas ministry. And so I know they're excited about this, because she was serving. But even saints get sick. Even saints get sick. Sickness doesn't care whether you're saved or not. It's going to hit you. And it's not because it's the devil. Amen, somebody. Sometimes you get sick. So don't try to rebuke it, because it ain't cause for rebuke. But something else happened. She didn't just get sick, she died. And so she lost her life. She was serving, and she got sick and died. And it depressed the congregation, because she was such an important role. She was a leader. And it kills the congregation when a leader dies, because they carry a part of the vision. And anyone that dies that carries a part of the vision, it causes the members to be in disarray, because they don't know where they're going. And so they have to look to say, who can lead us? And so she's gone. And they washed her, and they laid her in the upper chamber. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Amen. The word is very familiar. So they prepared her. They prepared her for burial. But somebody heard that Peter was around. Somebody heard about the rock. Although the rock just went to Lydia and healed somebody of an 8-year condition. The disciples, they say they heard that Peter was there. Amen. Touch somebody, say they heard. Amen, amen. That's the power that you have. That's why you can't be silent. That's why you got to go out and interact with people so they can know the God that you serve. Because if they get in an issue, all they got to say is, you know what? I heard Mama Summy was across town. Let's go around and get her, because we need her for this situation. I heard that he was there. All somebody got to do is just know that you're around. That's how powerful you are, because you're lights in dark places. And if you're around, then they can pull you into the situation and shed some light on it. Remove the darkness. Cast it out. This is a dark moment. They need some light. She's gone. Seemingly gone. But Peter's there. They send for him, and he comes quickly because they don't have much time. And he got there. They say when he was come, they brought him into the upper chamber, and all the widows stood by him weeping and showing the coats and garments which Dorcas made while she was with them. They're heartbroken, so they're just showing her, this is what she made for us. Look, this is what she did over here. This is what she made for Willie down the street when he didn't have a shirt because he was robbed, and this is what she made for him. This is what she made for the kids. This is the quilt that she made. They're showing them all this because they don't believe that it's not over. But Peter does like his master did in Matthew 9:24 through 25. Let's turn there real quick. Matthew chapter 9, because I want y'all to read it. I want y'all to read it. Y'all gonna preach today. Amen. All right. Matthew chapter 9, verses 24 through 25. When you have it, say amen. All right. Let's read it together. He said unto them, give place, for the maid is not dead, but sleepeth. And they laughed him to scorn. But when the people were put forth, he went in and took her by the hand, and the maid arose. Amen. And so Peter does what his master did. He said, but Peter put them all forth and knelt down and prayed. And turning him to the body, said, Tabitha, arise. So for this moment, I can't have people with me because this moment, I got to seek God. I can't have y'all weeping and mourning because y'all don't have the right mindset for this. Because y'all think it's over. And nothing is over as long as God is able. And God is able forever. And as long as God is able, nothing is over. Amen. And so he knelt down and prayed and petitioned. That's that remember when moment. She couldn't give a remember when, but Peter, he gave it for her. He gave it for her. That's why we encourage you to come, and even if the prayer is not for you, stand in the gap. Pray for somebody. Because sometimes they can't pray for themselves, but if you stand in their place, the Lord will hear the petition because it's genuine. And so after he prayed, he wasn't turning to her because he didn't want any credit for it. After he prayed, he turned to her and said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes. Hey, she opened her eyes. She woke up. Say immediately. Amen. Immediately she got up. She opened her eyes. And when she saw Peter, she sat up. And he gave her his hand and lifted her up. Sometimes you just need somebody to help you up, to grab you by the hand and lift you up out of your bed, out of the bed that they laid you in because they thought you were dead and gone. You need somebody to pick you up and say you're alive. And what they do, they presented her alive. It said when he had called the saints and widows, presented her alive. She became a living testimony. Testimony. And because of that presentation of her testimony, they didn't even have to say nothing. Just to see her standing was a testimony in and of itself. Her being alive spoke the testimony. Sometimes you don't even have to say nothing. If God just brought you through and folks know that you've been through a hard time, all you got to do is just show up. You ain't got to say nothing. Just show up. And when folks look, it's like, wow, I remember when you were this way and God did a work. That's why it's such a blessing to see Deacon Payne. He ain't got to say nothing. He ain't got to say nothing. Because we know what happened. And just him being there is a testimony to the power of God. Amen. And watch this. It said it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. Many because of that. And so here's why I titled it The Greater Miracle. Did y'all catch it? See, there were two miracles, but there was a greater one in each miracle. It wasn't as great as it was to heal a man sick of the palsy and having him be able to be free and liberated to move. That wasn't the greatest miracle. The greatest miracle was that they, in 35, y'all got y'all finger there? They turned to the Lord. That's the great miracle. They turned. See, what we have to understand about God is that he's just not going to heal you just for healing's sake. Because if he was just going to do it for you, then there would be no power in it. But he did it. Y'all done got me happy now. He did it so that everybody could see it and so that they could turn to the Lord. Amen. It's about change. Say change. Say, Lord, I need a change. It's about change. He doesn't just heal you for you, but he wants a change in the community. He wants a change in the atmosphere. They turned. Something happened in their mind that said, you know what? If he can do that, then, Lord, I need something. I need to know what they got. It's just like if you're a little kid and you see another little kid in front and a grown-up hands them a cookie and they go off and they're like, oh, great, great. And then you go up to them and say, I want a cookie too. Can I have a cookie? What did the Lord say? Ask and you shall receive. If you want salvation, you can get it. All you got to do is ask. It's free. It's already paid for. Just ask. Oh, man. Something else happened, though. Something else happened. Because that's not the only one. Here's the other example. In 42, it was known throughout all Joppa, and many believed in the Lord. And so they turned in Lydda, and they